Welcome to DDT Wrestling Podcast. Dad and daughter talks wrestling. Your weekly, monthly, or whatever we are podcast of our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts on the world of pro wrestling. So, this is a special edition of the Royal Rumble. Here we are. Does it feel like a Royal Rumble? Is the hype really for the Royal Rumble? Is there issues because of where it is? Maybe we'll talk about those things, but maybe we won't. So, with that, let's start about talking about last night.
Yes. So Saturday night's main event in Montreal was a fantastic show, top to bottom. They started off really hot with Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu in somewhat of like a street, like they were scrapping for real. Because I think our biggest thing was being worried about, hey, will Jacob lose? That makes him look weak. But they saved face for both of them, and they just had a battle throughout the entire arena, and that was really awesome. They followed that with the tag match, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, and they have amazing ring chemistry, so we knew that that was going to be a great match. I did also like Raquel Rodriguez coming in to interfere, and just the way that she did it, where she tripped Rhea Ripley and then Rhea fell on top of the ref, and
That was
that
awesome.
also introduced Stephanie Vaquer to come in, which continues their feud too. So that was a great match. Rhea and Io, of course, coming out on top. And then they had AJ Styles versus Nakamura, a classic feud. And that was an amazing match too. I do criticize them for only having a small card, but it really does allow them to have longer matches. And this match went on pretty long, but it was amazing. There were no misses in that whole match. And I'm very happy with how it went. Obviously Nakamura was like, AJ, if you're really about it, how about you challenge me at Saturday night's main event? And they put on, it was just beautiful choreo. They had a mix of that Japanese strong style, but then of course all of the Cirque du Soleil stuff that AJ Styles can do. And one of the points that have been made around the wrestling community is that that might have been the last time that those two were gonna face off against each other. So they really brought it. And it's like kind of sad, as you can see in my background. You know what I want to talk about. But yeah, that was an amazing match between AJ and Nakamura. Very likely their last match, and they really ended off their feud with a bang. Then, of course, we had the main event, which was the Fatal Four Way for the number one contender for Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Damian Priest, Trick Williams, and Sami Zayn. And when it comes to a match with multiple bodies involved, there's opportunity for a lot of excitement. I was very happy with the way that that match went. I thought each person really had an opportunity to have their own spots, have their highlight moments. And then, of course, Mr. Home Field Advantage, Sami Zayn ended up coming out on top. So, of course, we'll get to see what he does against Drew. Does he win? Does he lose? Does he lose and then enter into the Royal Rumble? So, a lot of things to look forward to. And one thing that I actually forgot to mention was that at the end of Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu's little scrap, Drew McIntyre came out and power bombed them both into tables, just a way to kind of end that off. Kind of him making a little statement of like, hey, you guys want to talk crap about me? I'm the champ, so you can't come step to me. So I think that was just his way of kind of like eradicating them both and really making that statement to the person, now Sami Zayn, who is set to face him at the Royal Rumble. But yeah, this, yes, it was not that many matches, but I think that they started off hot, they ended hot, and it just leaves us excited for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it having four matches and the way they booked them, it was nice. It was tight.
Yes.
It's like, a state of desperation. Just keep it tight, keep the story, keep it moving. And I think wrestling definitely comes off so much better when things booked to make sense. Not necessarily booked to me or my liking, but it made sense. Okay, you got to protect Jacob Fatu, who's returning. You want to make him a strong player. Cody Rhodes is your number one guy. You can't have him necessarily job. You're not ready to have Jacob beat him here. or someone to get over, and you don't want to hurt Jacob Fatu. So you started with Chaos, and then you had Drew place his stamp on it. That women's tag match was so physical.
Oh,
It was just crazy.
yes.
But it flowed so well. Liv Morgan just always brings it, just always so good in like every match she's in. Roxanne Perez, great. And the tag champions, there's no need to even mention. Just four masters at the craft in that ring. So great match, right on point. But man, AJ Styles and Nakamura was just a classic
Yeah.
match. A beautiful final
Was
match between those two.
art.
Um, yeah, it really that's art. It wasn't just wrestling, it was like art. They told a story, they took you with them,
Yeah.
and they ended with the same fist pound from their Japanese match, New Japan match. Um, and then the main event, it I look at that because I've been predicting Sami Zayn to win the Royal Rumble because of where it is.
Right.
But I think I'm gonna have to belay that because WrestleMania next year is there. I think he has his WrestleMania moment there. He's not going to beat Drew McIntyre. It's going to be a great match, and then
Right.
he's going to enter a Rumble. He might be a Final Four, Final Five
Yeah.
person,
Right.
and as good as he is at making things look desperate, he's going to have it, you know, look great. But I think he's going to fall short. But I think the story might just be him win in Saudi next year at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all four really good matches, well paced, well booked,
Mm-hmm.
just chef's kiss from them for a Saturday night main event. So,
Yes, 100%. Definitely, like, I feel like, we've been critical about different pay-per-views, or at least the wrestling community has been critical about different PLEs and things like that. But I think this one really met the mark. But now going into our kind of predictions for these Royal Rumbles. So we're going to start off with the women, and I'll be talking about people that I think will make impressions, surprise entrants, and then, of course, who we think are going to ultimately win. And we'll do the same for the men as well. So for the women. So I don't necessarily have a title for this, but I think what we will see are frictions between some tag teams in this Royal Rumble that
hmm.
might ultimately end up, breaking them up or just causing just some, just fights within the home. But we mentioned Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is a stellar person on this roster. It really was unfortunate when she got hurt when she did. It's awesome to have her back. She just constantly reminds us, how great she is and how much of a core staple person she is in that locker room. I have her being the final five. Um, Now I know Raquel did come in and help them out with the match. They ultimately ended up losing yesterday, but I do have some, friction between Liv and Raquel and Roxanne, and ultimately maybe causing a rift because of Raquel's pursuits for the main title. Yes, we did have a moment where Judgment Day was cohesive with Rhea being the champ and then the other when she was in, but I don't know. I think that there might be a little bit of a rift between them. So I think there might be a little bit of a captivating moment when we see, perhaps maybe an accidental elimination or an almost elimination between those three women. I also have Rhea and Io as people who are probably going to be within the final five. Rio is great. They are powerful, but they can't be together forever. They're gonna re enter into the title picture, and I wouldn't even be surprised if one of them ends up winning the Elimination Chamber, if not the Royal Rumble. So not intentional, but another one of those, oh no, somebody bumped me into you and you got eliminated. No. Of course, we heard, the Kabuki Warriors goals, and how Kyrie says that she's gonna do everything in her power to make sure Asuka wins. So I do see them kind of continuing that feud that they have going on. Maybe Kyrie pushes Rhea into Io and then Io accidentally gets eliminated or something of that sort. Same thing goes for Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. Charlotte has been getting on Alexa about her pursuing solo matches. You know, Charlotte's thing is like, hey, I'm Charlotte Flair. I could do that whenever I want, but my head is still in the game about us being tag champs. Well, Bliss is trying to pursue, you know, her own endeavors. So I just see the fallout of all these stellar tag teams, and you know they're gonna have to eventually reestablish that. The only one that I see probably still remaining strong is Lash Legend and Nia Jax. And Lash Legend is another person that I also see kind of making a pretty big impression. I think she might have maybe the most eliminations, which will be really great. But yes, those are the women that I have for really making a big impression. So I'll just let you put your insight before I get into like what I think my surprises will be.
I like your idea of like tag team turmoil because
Yes.
I feel like they have to set up a few things. My prediction for the WrestleMania um women's world title is if I'm mixing them up, Rhea Ripley I think could win this Rumble. I'm doing my prediction early,
Yeah, that's okay.
and she's gonna take on Stephanie McCare. I
Mm-hmm.
think they've been keeping them apart for a
That's true.
reason.
Mm-hmm.
If not her, then my surprise entrant
Right.
to take on Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm.
But um and I think they're gonna finally have Asuka and Io go against each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I think it would have been really good. I mean, too soon, but it probably would have been good if Roxanne and Liv won those tag titles. Hopefully, maybe they win them down the line to separate
Mm-hmm.
them two. But definitely the impressions. I mean, I think most eliminations is probably going to be a contest between Lash and Nia, and
Yeah.
then maybe a little friction. I don't think they should break up yet because I think they could
No.
be in line for the tag titles.
Agreed.
But definitely, them two. Um, like I said, Rhea Ripley, I'm just feeling like she could win this, or
Mm-hmm.
she could win the Elimination Chamber. But I think she's headed to a world title match at
Agreed.
WrestleMania against whomever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they could do the same thing with Alexa and Charlotte. Maybe they're headed towards a bitter divorce.
Yes.
And oh, my TV doesn't like when I say Miss Bliss' first name. uh, But I think that yeah, I think I like your idea of just a different turmoil in tag teams. So that's kind of my prediction. My as far as the impressions,
Mhm.
I go along with you that tag teams will be split up because there's too many high profile people in tag teams right now.
Agreed.
You don't have true tag teams. That's why it'd be great if they brought back the Iconics. Um, like real tag teams to be the real tag champions. I would definitely
Mhm.
like to see that. But it makes sense for WrestleMania season to kind of break these up.
Mhm.
Um, this whole Rio romance.
Yes.
Okay, come on, get a room. But yeah, that's my prediction. I go along with you as far as the tag team turmoil, breakups, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. And then as far as surprises go, so you kind of alluded to this. So Bianca Belair, finger injury. Please, girl, come back. Do we need you? I think that she will be a final five and is definitely one of my top people to be a winner. I also think AJ Lee will be a surprise entrant. Technically, we know that she's on the roster, but she just hasn't shown up in a while. And then what I have her here is eliminate Becky Lynch. That's what I think she's gonna do. That's what I think she's there for. And then that'll set up them having a very likely WrestleMania match for the IC title. And then I also have my final surprise entrant. I don't know what number she'll be in, but I think that it'll be Tiffany Stratton. Very, very likely that she could be a winner. I definitely know that she'll be a final five. Um, my pick, Bianca Belair. What I think might happen is Tiffany Stratton. How they decide to do this, I don't know. Bianca Belair is. It would be perfect and just fresh for her to go against Jade. Tiffany Stratton does have a reason to want to go against Jade because Jade absolutely mollywopped her when they went against each other. So there's a story for both of them. which one they pick, I don't know. It's just up to them to see who's stronger. I do have some rogue people that I also wanted to mention. I think our NXT entrants will be Jada Parker and Blake Monroe. They're my top ones. They could also do JC Jane if they want to do the champ, because that's usually what they like to do. But Jada Parker cut an amazing promo at NXT last time, and I just think it really established her as being like a force over there. So I wouldn't be surprised if she made an entrant. And then I like to do a little bit of a rogue winner. You know, I think Jordan Grace has also kind of established herself as really trying to, start this thing with Jade. Like, hey, I'm about it. Don't overlook me. So I'm like, Jordan Grace, I think she's somebody who could end up being within like the final five, maybe. I don't know if she takes the W, but I think kind of like how they did, with Jey Uso, people were very surprised about that. We had our top five as who we thought would win. Logan Paul eliminated two out of those people, and we were like, what's gonna happen? So a lot of people were, very happy when Jey Uso took that W, and we're very surprised when that happens. So sometimes they like to do surprises. Jordan Grace isn't as over with the crowd right now, and it could be a risk doing that, especially in front of an international audience. But I think she's just one of those people that you're like, look out for. And then I failed to mention Chelsea Green and somebody to make an impression, but of course she's of course their humor relief. But I would love I always remember, I do not remember which year it was, whether it was, I think it might have been 2012, Alberto Del Rio winning. He was the last one in, and lo and behold, behind him was Santino. And we're like, oh my God, Santino's gonna, he's gonna eliminate him.
I
Unfortunately,
was
that didn't happen. But I've been waiting for that kind of spot with Chelsea Green where they do that. They low-key did that. It was not a women's Royal Rumble. I think it was like just a battle royal where Raquel actually won and Chelsea Green was like one of the last people that kind of hid. I would love if they did that for a Royal Rumble. I think it would be really funny. But yeah, I think yeah, so my pick Bianca, Rogue pick Jordan, who I think might end up winning Tiffany.
well, as much as I would probably love Chelsea to maybe have that moment and even win,
Yeah.
I pray multiple times that she gets to carry that money in the bank briefcase for like a year.
Yeah.
She put her face on there. She puts her presidential label on that money in the bank brief. That's what I need in my life. Chelsea to have that money in the bank. But anyway, I would say that my surprises, of course, you have your Bianca. You may see like a Trish Stratus.
Right, right,
Tiffany Stratton is absolutely she's in the WrestleMania video, so
right.
the Vegas video. I do not if she wins, I do not want to see her against Jade. I feel like, yeah, okay.
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing her against Stephanie Vaquer.
They had a great
But
match.
then
Yeah.
if she comes back, let her be the heel that she can be.
Right.
She's gonna get a face pop, a Tiffy time pop, but she can still be a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Trick Williams gets people to say whip that trick, and he's all kind of heel.
Yeah.
So I say, if she comes back, and she's definitely gonna be a surprise entrance. If she wins it, I don't want to see her against Jade again. I don't know. It's just personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
I think the money match they haven't touched at all. They were even a tag team is Bianca and Jade. That's the money WrestleMania match if she can wrestle.
Right.
Um, like I don't know if they'll go in a direction because Jade has had stare downs with multiple people. She had a stare down with Rhea.
Yep.
She had a stare down with Charlotte.
Charlotte. Yep.
So they could go in those two directions there. I just don't want to see Tiffany Stratton. I'd be intrigued by Tiffany and Jessica and Stephanie Vaquer. I'd be intrigued by that. One person I didn't mention as far as having an impression is Raquel. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think she will have a big impression. I would like for her to win that title, even if it's up to like
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania weekend and maybe drop it. I don't know. I don't know if she goes into WrestleMania as champion, but I would like to see her get that title. I think
Mm-hmm.
she's had remarkable changes after like Kevin Nash. And I said this to you last night, made a comment about the way she wrestles small.
Yes.
and she took it as constructive, which is great.
Right,
Because he
exactly.
wasn't trying to throw shade. He
No.
was legit. Like, she's bigger than a lot of them girls. Why does she sell
Yeah.
down to them
Right,
or
right.
like wrestle? So that helped her out. Her personality has changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she looks like a world champion to me.
Right.
And I think she could definitely get that title. I don't know if they're ready to take it off Stephanie, unless it's Rhea Ripley, which may be the other money match. That's why I kind of picked her as the winner. I think
Right.
she's my winner. If it's not Bianca, Bianca's number one.
Yes.
Bianca might be, I guess, is it with my heart or my head? What is Bianca? Heart or
Fantasy.
head? It might be heart because she's not back yet. But
Yeah.
my head says Rhea Ripley as your winner of the Royal Rumble. And I said my surprises, which would be like a Tiffany Stratton.
Hmm.
And I could see they're very high on Kendall Gray.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
could see her and JC Jane.
Hmm.
Uh, I think she should be in it.
I
She's
agree.
been carrying
She's a champ.
NXT.
Yeah.
She should absolutely be in it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just those two NXT women and like a Tiffany Stratton and maybe Brie Bella.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Maybe
gosh.
Brie. We have the Bella twins.
Yeah, dude, that would be a great surprise. Yeah, no, that would
Yeah, they've been she's been teasing it. They've talked about it, so I could see that. So those are, my predictions for surprises. But
hmm
yeah, I stand on. I think my head says Rhea Ripley. That team's gonna break up somehow, and um, my heart is Bianca takes on Jade to knock her down a peg
Yes.
and save us all. I'm not one of those people that hates on Jade Cargill.
No, 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 no.
It's just ridiculous the hate that woman gets. But whatever. But I'm just saying the persona she has, like she's the bully and the bitch in the locker room, blah, blah, blah. Bianca comes back and
Yep.
saves us
Yes.
from the heel. So that's it. That's my predictions there for the women.
Nice. So now on to the men's Royal Rumble. So the first person that announced themselves for the Royal Rumble was Mr. Cody Rhodes. And I have two words next to his name in my notes app, and it is please lose. I do not want Cody to win this match. He can be in the final five, he can be in the final two for all I care. But please, 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 I don't want him to win. I think we have so much more opportunity for fresh matches with the current title picture that we have, that having him do it now, yes, they did tease a Cody and Punk, and yes, that'll be cool, but that could be something in the future, right? I think that there's a lot more opportunity for people to do something that we haven't seen before with the current title holder. So I'm just like, I don't want Cody to win. Please let him just stay away from the title picture for a little bit. He can be in the elimination chamber. He doesn't have to win. So yeah, I'm just like, please don't let him win. Um, Mr. Gunther also announced himself pretty quickly, and this kind of leads into one of the surprise entrants that I have, but I literally have please start Brock feud now. I think that him and Brock Lesnar just need to rip that band-aid off and start it. Saudi is the perfect place for that pop to happen. So I'm like, that literally should be Brock Lesnar's only goal. I think that would be just really awesome for them to kickstart then and there. Um, Roman Reigns announced himself, but it was literally like he sent a messenger pigeon or something. Like he didn't even make a video. And I was just like, really? They just
Yeah.
said Roman Reigns is official for the Royal Rumble, and I'm like, all right. But I mean, we knew that he was gonna be in it. He is a potential winner, in my opinion. I think, yes, he has not been here for a while, but he's a Hollywood man, so I think, you know what? They could give him this W. Saudi loves him, and he could challenge any one of them who's the current title holder. It doesn't matter. He could choose Drew. He could choose Punk. It does not matter at all. All of those people that were in that Fatal 4-Way, they have not formally announced themselves yet, but I do believe that they will be in that match. It's just inevitable. I would love a spot between Trick, Javon, and one of my surprise entrants. So I'm kind of like going all over the place. But if you guys tuned in last week, then you would have seen his background, and you would have seen that it was literally future WrestleMania main eventers. It would be awesome to see that face off. Same thing with Mello. It would be really cool to see Mello in there and see Trick and Mello kind of like look at each other like, oh, what's up? I think hopefully Javon Evans' health is in check. I think he will have the infamous Kofi Kingston spot. Um, yeah, the vision, I think that they have not formally announced themselves yet, but I think each and every one of them will be involved in that in some way, shape, or form. Um, but yeah, those are like my main people. I'm really looking forward to Gunther and Brock as far as like people making an impression. Obviously, Cody Rhodes will be in it. Hopefully, he does not win. Jey Uso also announced himself, but I don't really foresee him, you know, doing any winning because he's right now a tag holder. Um, and then, of course, Roman Reigns, I really do see he formally announced himself, and I do see him as being a winner. Oh, R-Truth also was one of the people that announced himself. He loves to do the humoristic kind of thing. There was one time where he brought a ladder to the Royal Rumble. Maybe he'll bring some kind of briefcase to try to cash in on somebody at the Royal Rumble. I don't know. So they just love to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, if he still has a job, then he'll be in it. We don't know what's gonna happen. That kind of goes into one of the other matches that are booked for this event. But yeah, I will hand it off to you before I get into my surprises. But yeah, we'll see what happens with those formal entrants.
This that I can remember, this might be the most unpredictable
Yeah.
one they've had in a while. I can't put my finger on. Typically, there's a guy they're grooming, or they can just go with the standard. Roman Reigns walks in and wins the Royal Rumble and goes on to face maybe CM Punk.
Right.
They teased that in the
Mhm.
past, but there's no Paul Heyman involved.
That's true.
And this could go into my surprise entrance spoiler. I don't know what Seth Rollins' status is.
Right. Right.
I don't know what that is, and I don't know. I mean, because he's definitely going to be involved with the Vision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's WrestleMania ready.
Right.
So, because they can definitely further that storyline. I don't think you're going to have like Braun Breaker win the Rumble. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to happen. But I mean, a lot of my big impressions for it are like mystery people
Yeah.
or surprise entrants. But I will say, and he's been off TV. I know he's going to be back. LA Knight,
Yeah.
feel like they could give him a moment.
That would be great.
I feel like that they could give a moment to elevate him. Maybe that's my heart speaking
Mm-hmm.
of LA Knight, but I mean, impressions are definitely going to be like and like I said, it just all goes into spoileries type stuff. Almost may show up and be that guy they all got to team up on to get rid of. Um, again, my prediction of Sami Zayn winning since it's where it is, I think that's off the table now. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's like I said, I'm getting into all of my mystery people because I feel like I have a good number of them.
Right.
But yeah, it's just very unpredictable. Again, I echo what you said about Cody. No, no. I don't know if he wins the Rumble, but no, keep him off my TV pointing at the WrestleMania sign. I, I don't want to see it. Maybe him and Jacob eliminate each other
Yeah.
and they have like a last man standing match at WrestleMania.
Oh,
That would be great because it would be fresh. It would be
Dad,
fresh
you're
for Cody.
cooking right now. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it would be great because that would be fresh for Cody. He's not going after Roman Reigns again. He's
Yeah.
not even going for the title. He has a blood match, a
Yes.
blood feud, and then he's revealed as the
Yes.
person.
Oh, I did it. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That cooks.
And then I'll accept a Jacob Fatu loss if
Yes.
he's revealed.
If it's
As the
that's
person.
that's
And
the
it goes
exchange.
into Hill Homelander Rhodes.
Yes.
So
That's
yeah,
the
that's kind of things I would like to see. Um, lasting impressions. I think those two eliminate each other
yes.
from the
Perfect.
Rumble to keep this thing going. I think you have to. You
Right.
want to keep this going, especially after Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
This is gonna go maybe till the final match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I,
That's
I would I would love seeing that.
yes.
So those are my impressions. I don't want to get into spoilers because that's where the meat of my predictions are.
Hmm. No, yeah, that is perfect. I think I said this last week, but it's almost as if you've been watching this brand for a while.
A little bit, a little bit.
Like maybe double my lifetime, but who knows? Um, but before I get into the main surprises, so for NXT entrants, I have Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, and Joel Hendry. Um, I mean, obviously NXT is still figuring out who is going to be the main title winner. So whoever ultimately that ends up being, they could also be a part of this if it's not Ricky Saints. But yes, those are the three ones that I have. I don't really see anyone else as being somebody who could be a Royal Rumble entrant, but I guess they'll just have to prove themselves eventually. Health status, we don't know the health status of Seth. That was a great point. Dom Mysterio is another person that we don't know whether he will be Royal Rumble ready. He may not be, but if he's in it, I do have him eliminating his father because one of the things that we do have is literally him potentially retiring his dad at WrestleMania, or just having like another one of those father son kind of matches. It's been quite a hot minute since he's actually, wrestled because of his, I think it's a shoulder injury. So hopefully, if he's not prepared for the Royal Rumble, then we see him at least in WrestleMania, given additional 4 months. Um, this kind of gets into surprises, but we do not know the health status of Kevin Owens or Chad Gable. Hopefully they're healthy for the Royal Rumble because I feel like they both would be very exciting to see. High potential for Chad Gable to do something with the current Grande Americano. All three of them. I don't know if they'll do the tall Grande and Venti, but
They
I guess we'll
probably will.
see. And then of course, we've all missed Kevin Owens. We've seen the video of him doing some like running and stuff like that. So it would be pretty insane if he's able to come back. I think just crowd pop absolutely. And then one of the biggest surprises I feel like I've heard is Chris Jericho because, obviously his AEW contract has been done and he's kind of been making little statements about, oh, is he going to come back? I think there will be a great crowd pop for him if he does come back, especially with if he decides to use, it doesn't matter which song he decides to use, but it'll be insane if they do like the infamous Chris Jericho countdown.
Countdown. They got
um
a countdown,
and I mean
right?
it's the countdown and then him wearing the jacket. As long as those two things are there, I think that crowd pop will be insane for him.
Oh, wait a
um,
minute. Wait a minute.
Go for it.
They do the countdown with the original sound,
Yeah, yeah, with the original,
not the
not
regular.
the Royal Rumble one.
It's got to be his countdown. That
Yeah,
will that will be
that
amazing.
that would be perfect because then we would just know who it is, and then we're like, oh, is it really gonna be him? And then we finally see him. I do like what you said about almost. I think that'll be cool. He's just the big giant guy. Saudi will be very happy with him. And hey, we could see a potential face off with him and Obafemi. I mean, they have done that before, but just not on a main stage. And then one of the people that have been looming around the talks of the Wrestle universe is Powerhouse Hobbs. He went by the name of Powerhouse Hobbs from AEW. And it would be very cool to see him. People may not know who he is, the crowd pop may not be there, but it's about what he does in that ring. And one of the things that I have him doing is eliminating Bronson Reed in the Royal Rumble. And I think that that would be very interesting because obviously, Bronson is a powerhouse, pun intended, and he's hard to eliminate. You're gonna need like a lot of guys to eliminate him. And I think that allows for, whatever his name ends up being, but that allows for Hobbs to, just kind of really make a name for himself. That does establish him as a face. So if they don't want to do that, then that will not happen. But I think that if they decide to have him be a surprise there, I think they want to, really make an impression. So it could be him and Oba going for elimination to elimination. Like who knows who gets the most, and maybe a face off there. My road winner is Obafemi. Now this is just a dream. This is just a fantasy. This is just a me talking out of, just I don't know if it's gonna happen, Oba it's literally going to be his debut on the main roster. We don't even know which brand he's going to be on at that point. So, yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk to have somebody's introduction to the main roster be that they win the match that is literally has WrestleMania contingencies. So, yeah, I'm like that is a risk. Now, outside of Obafemi, this, like you said, is a very, very unpredictable kind of Royal Rumble. Braun Breaker is somebody who I think they're thinking. I think they're heavily considering Braun Breaker. And, CM Punk is the world champion. He has a reason to go after him. Um, so I'm like, I don't know. I really feel like it's like one of those, it's like the Tiffany Shine and Bianca Belair situation. My fantasy is Bianca. What I think they're thinking Tiffany. And then for this one, I really think they keep saying every single time they mention Braun Breaker as a future WrestleMania, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey man, I think that this could be the time that they decide to rip off the band-aid. Um, yeah, but I do like LA Knight. I do like the idea of it being LA Knight. And the thing about LA Knight is that he's a chameleon. It doesn't matter who he goes against. Same thing for CM Punk, and then obviously Drew McIntyre is the heel in this, so he can go against any face. But yeah, I'm just like, yes, Rogue winner Obafemi. My heart is with LA Knight. My head is where I think they're going with Braun Breaker.
Oof. All right, so my number one surprise entrant
Mm-hmm.
in this Royal Rumble is El Grande Americano. Vintage El Grande Americano. And he unmasked
And
in front of El Grande Americano. And he eliminates him.
it's Chad Gable?
Yes.
Yes.
That's my Royal Rumble moment
That is hilarious.
right
That is
there.
great.
It has to happen.
I hope he's healthy. Gosh, I hope he's healthy.
The dude is hinged. He done got himself all beefy and
Yeah.
big and with a beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see. But with that, definitely I could see some surprises like you mentioned over Femi. I would love to see Montez Ford show
Mm.
up and Angelo Dawkins. Both of them show up as individual, wrestlers
Yes. Yeah.
doing their thing. Um, yeah, you could have like Powerhouse Hobbs show up, um, as an NXT star.
That's true.
You could have him show up there. I mean, and like I said, if you align him with Ricky Saints, where they were a duo in AEW, maybe you could rekindle what they had. They have a nice chemistry. So maybe you
Hmm.
could do something with that and have
Hmm.
him in there. But I think he has to be in there. He's a big old beefy,
Yeah.
meaty man.
Yeah.
You know, he's just impressive. But my heart and my head, they like you said, they keep saying future WrestleMania main eventer, but I just feel like this isn't the future yet for him.
Right.
Um, if Seth is able to come back, you could definitely have something with that, and they have a grudge match. I would just like, to not see the regulars going for the world title. I really want LA Knight to win this, because it would be fresh. I mean, he is over, and he could have a feud. He has a chemistry with CM Punk.
Hmm.
Go jousting with the mic. They would have just some good moments. He could go with Drew.
Hmm.
He could go either way. I don't I don't know if that's a head or heart. My head actually says Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
To me, that would be boring. But you have Roman Reigns, the biggest star. How are you not gonna have him in a major?
Him
I don't know
competing
what
for sign. Ugh.
I don't know what other major like opponent he could have.
Right.
Oh my God, not Cody in a grudge match. No.
Anything but that.
Anything but that. Um, Another surprise entrance, of course, you mentioned Chris Jericho. I mean, he has to have a moment with Kevin Owens. He has to have a moment with AJ Styles. Maybe, you know what? Maybe they can read because they hated their match that they had at that WrestleMania, the one I went to, where Kevin Owens turned on him at the Festival of Friends.
Yeah.
I could rekindle that.
Yeah.
They could hug and then someone get kicked in the balls
Yeah.
and eliminated. And Kevin Owens is another maybe surprise entrance. We don't know his health status.
Mhm.
So many different surprises. But and then if they really want to strap the nuclear freaking rocket to Obafemi, he wins this thing.
Yeah.
The way they're showing promos for him, they know what they got. You could strap the rocket to him and face Drew McIntyre.
Mhm.
Like right there.
He has a reason. Drew ruined his match with Cody.
Yeah.
The story's right
And,
there.
and just run with it. But then, you mentioned Gunther
Mhm.
and Brock Lesnar. You can definitely set that up. You can really set up WrestleMania with
Yes.
the last few entrants, the
Mhm.
last five people, or six people, you can set it up for money matches. Money match,
Mhm.
Brock and Gunther.
Oh.
Unless you're saving that for when Brock wants to retire like soon, I guess, or like maybe down the line. This is the year of retirements.
And
Uh,
Gunther's just taking the Infinity Stones. Like that's just what they
he
decided.
is. Gunther is taking Infinity Stones. Um, and I don't think, I mean, we're going to talk about the matches, but um, you can set that up.
Mhm.
You can have LA Knight win this thing. You can, I don't know who else you would have if Obafemi doesn't win.
Right.
Who else you have him dance? I don't know who his first dance partner is going to be.
Hmm.
Is it going to be The Miz?
Oh my gosh, please no. Oh
He
my.
is the rite of passage for everyone. The Miz or maybe some other, I don't know, big guy or something. Rusev, I could see. He faced him in some NXT lives. So maybe that was practice. I could see
Gonna
maybe,
lie. I didn't even know Rusev was still on the roster.
wow. Oddly enough, he's had more matches in WWE than he's had in AEW in the past 3 years.
What? Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Or maybe the ex AEW guys can have a faction. And we didn't talk about like other people. I mean, I don't know what kind of impact they'll have, but like um uh not Damian Priest.
Hmm.
Aleister Black.
Oh yeah.
But like where does that go? Where do they go with that?
Right.
Solo Sokoa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure Talatunga is going to be in there. He's another big guy. He can have your face off with either of the big dudes.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. There's so many. Jeez, there's so many.
there's so many,
Like
like,
the Wyatt Six too. Like
yeah, so many. They got to get the sixth
the.
member of the Wyatt family back. Um, so yeah, I'm going on and on, but my heart is LA Knight, La Knight.
Lenite.
My head is Roman Reigns,
Mm,
and I
okay.
would be disappointed with my head.
But I literally can like see Roman Reigns pointing to that sign in the Saudi Arabian golden lights. Like that image is something that I know that they don't want to. They're looking at that as potential. But
Right.
the two additional
Ooh, what
matches.
if
Oh,
what
go ahead.
what if they do Roman versus Oba Femi? Oh my God. Oh,
You said, oh my, that's almost like the same level as like him winning the Rumble. Like him
or going, yeah, right, going for the world title. Him versus Roman Reigns, if they're
Roman
like,
Reigns alone, like Roman Reigns with no gold, facing off against anyone is like the same level as you going against the person who's the title holder. It's
call
that big.
himself the ruler. He is the ruler.
He is the ruler. That's
Oh,
interesting.
I
That
just booked that match.
that's man, that's crazy. I mean, like you said, like Obafemi really just bleeds nothing but potential. It's about what they decide, what creative decides to do.
Right,
And they probably know, hey, our decision point is definitely it has a big, big, big effect on, his career and the outcome. Um, but the two additional matches that are currently booked for the Royal Rumble. So obviously my background. No, no. I did not think that I'd be talking about another person retiring after my goat. Like what the heck? But as you can see in my background, I have the infamous AJ Styles. And, you know, he talked about retiring in 2026. Now, how soon? We don't know. It might be as soon as he can't even enter into the Royal Rumble. He might have to pack up his things and leave because he has a match with Gunther. And match placement obviously is important, as we mentioned last week. So this could be an opener. Or the women's Royal Rumble could be the opener, but we just know this match will be before the men's Royal Rumble. AJ Styles versus Gunther for his career. Now, the verbiage here, we thought verbiage was important. They haven't said WWE career, they just said career, which is interesting. They might backtrack that, but for now, Gunther could be retiring AJ Styles literally next week in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, we know that this match is going to be amazing. It's going to be gut wrenching. It's going to be tear jerking. There's going to be storytelling involved and everything like that. But I'm just like, this soon, I see AJ Styles in the Royal Rumble, you know? So I would be shocked for him to lose this. Now, you know, if it goes to no contest, then he's still a WWE employee. So I'm like, you know, and Gunther can't really take a loss at this point. He's just established himself as the ultimate retirer. Like he's not somebody who can get pinned right now. So I'm like, how do they make it where AJ Styles can still have this job and Gunther does not lose? I don't know, but I think a no contest has to be involved in some way, shape, or form for AJ Styles to not, because this is way too soon, and he only did his match with Nakamura as like the final homage to that. That can't be the only match he does. With how many matches John Cena got, which weren't a lot by the way, but John Cena got to go through each person who he felt or who us in the audience just really wanted to see for just the last, you know, final. So I'm like, that can't be it for AJ. On top of that, we both think that he should have some kind of TNA run. He went on TNA when they had their debut on AMC. That can't be it, you know. It just doesn't make any sense for just the illustrious career that he has had on TNA. Some might even say that, I mean, he is Mr. TNA. Like, I would be like, some might say that his career on TNA was more powerful than on WWE. That's not crazy to say because he established TNA as what it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all those guys that are on TNA and even WWE that are super jumpy and go across the rope and everything like that, if they don't look to the lucha style, they look to AJ Styles as that influence on their lives, especially a lot of these younger guys. So I'm like, yeah, I think it would be. We're in January, and he said he wants to retire in 2026. None of us thought that it would be within the first 31 days of that. So, yeah, I'm just like, how do they make it so that he still has a job and Gunther does not lose this match? I don't know, but I'm saying no contest.
I have one of
You have
them.
the pen.
I have the pin. I have the pin. Match starts.
Yes.
Looks desperate. Things aren't looking good. Uh, maybe Gunther. He gets Gunther in a submission move, a calf crusher, and he then Gunther gets out. You know they can make it dramatic.
Yeah.
Uh, and then as it looks like AJ is gonna submit, we hear Brock Lesnar's theme.
Oh. Oh my
You
gosh.
hear Brock Lesnar's theme. He
Uh-huh.
comes through, beats the hell out of AJ Styles. Ding, ding,
Oh,
ding, ding, ding.
for him to win.
Winner of the match, AJ Styles. AJ's pissed. So AJ's gonna eventually have a match against Brock somewhere. He's another person along his line of people he could fight. He had a really good match with him. One
Yeah.
of the underrated matches that Brock has had that people are like, he's just gonna destroy him. Him and Daniel Bryan at the time. It was
Yeah.
just amazing matches. Gunther's pissed
Yeah.
because he could have eliminated him. He
Retirement.
could have
Yeah.
retired AJ Styles.
Hmm.
And then Brock's going to also eliminate Gunther out of the Royal Rumble.
Wow. So Brock double whammies. I mean, it's
You
Brock
booked the
Lesnar.
feud, you booked the feud with AJ Styles,
Yeah.
and you booked WrestleMania match with Gunther,
Yeah.
and you saved it. I totally don't believe that um, AJ Styles is going to be retired. I would be stunned if they're doing it this soon. He should get somewhat of a retirement run like John Cena. He absolutely should get to run. You see him, he looked at the title, the TNA title. He was
Yeah.
called out last Thursday. Like, how do you do that stuff and then up?
That's it.
So they're gonna work their way out of this by I think a disqualification and AJ wins that way. Um,
Yeah.
but fantasy booking, it's I don't know, but I foresee that as a best way to get Gunther a match at WrestleMania that's not for the world title but equivalent. Because
Mm-hmm.
I do think ultimately Gunther is headed for a long title reign, a
Yeah.
really long title reign. Um, who knows? They could have him win the Rumble and just win the title now and just have it until they build up somebody like an Obafemi or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sami
as
Zayn.
far as this match, disqualification, AJ Styles wins because of interference. They injected Nakamura. Maybe he comes in to save his friend
That's true.
because he don't think he could beat Brock. I mean, I'm sorry, beat Gunther. So
Yeah.
he steps in. But I would absolutely. The Saudis love Brock. You see him more than once. That's the way I think you get some good use out of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's a good pop too, because like we're all anticipating waiting till the end of the night for him, because he's very likely gonna be in the late 20s. Brock don't want to work no more than 15 minutes. So I'm like, for him to be that surprise in that match, especially if it's like one of the earlier matches, that would be pretty insane and pretty stellar in the Saudi Arabian crowd. And then the final match that they currently have booked is Drew McIntyre now versus Sami Zayn. So Drew will not lose this match. He just got the title. This is his first defense of this title on a major PLE, and it would be very shocking for him to lose it this quickly. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of false finishes. He talked about Sami Zayn's son. You can't talk about nobody's son and not them get their lick back in some way, shape, or form. He's going to beat Sami Zayn. It's not going to be in. I think it's gonna be like in a heel cheating way. Maybe he grabs the rope, he grabs the tights, something, because it's Drew McIntyre, right? He's gonna do that thing, and then he rolls out the ring and like scoots back with the title belt, hair in his face, and it's like, yeah, he did it, that evil, evil guy. And Sami Zayn's gonna be upset. And you made a really fantastic point. Yes, the Royal Rumble is in Saudi, but guess what they have? They're like, I'll do you one better. They have WrestleMania next year. So it does make sense for it to be like Sami Zayn gets so close, but he doesn't just do it yet. And then in front of the most important audience, the WrestleMania audience for next year, he finally does it. And he also made the point about how they could just decide that Gunther is going to be the guy, and
Oh
it
man,
would be insane if it'll be Gunther that has the title reign and then Sami Zayn ultimately
yes,
to defeat the reign, because that goes back to circa Gunther 666 days of IC title, to which Sami Zayn then defeated him. So it could be that
yes,
they decide to revisit that. Um, and it's just that like Sami Zayn is the one who defeats Gunther's title reigns, which is like kind of funny if they decide to do that again. But it does make sense about how they, establish Sami Zayn. Oh, he's so close, because Trick Williams said it himself. Sami Zayn, he doesn't get it done. He gets close, but he doesn't get it done. He did get it done though when he went against Gunther for the IC title, and that match was amazing. So I really do think that that is something that he could do. He could for sure do that again. And just be the hero, the final hero. And that chase storyline for the entire year is going to be very exciting. Because it's Sami Zayn and he can sell a chase. I mean, that's who he is, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is a heel is just something that feels like an oxymoron. Fun fact, it did happen at one point and they had this really weird intro for him. But Sami Zayn as the face is like is the thing. Him as the face and him doing the chase, I think that does build money. And honestly, I really think that like, Sami Zayn coming off of a loss from Drew and then a loss at the Rumble, a loss at the Elimination Chamber, a loss at Money in the Bank, a loss at King of the Ring, just constant losses. I want him to get close. I want him to have that LA Knight treatment where he gets so close, but he doesn't quite do it. And you're just like, dang, this underdog that we keep having to root for. I think they really do have potential of having a story. Obviously, emulating the story with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns is never going to be emulated, but I think this is could be the next best thing if they tell the story right. Sami
Right.
Zayn has to lose a lot, but he also has to cut promos that makes you want to constantly cheer for him. And Gunther has to do terrible things to Sami Zayn in order for us to be like, yeah, we Sami Zayn needs to defeat Gunther. He has to. And then that also could be Sami Zayn kind of giving homage to all the people that Gunther disrespected, like John Cena and AJ Styles. Inevitably, he's gonna do that. Now I know he will be preoccupied with Brock Lesnar. I don't know what that's gonna look like. It would be pretty insane if he ends up retiring Brock Lesnar in some way, shape, or form, or ending up winning the feud with Brock Lesnar. That would even put Gunther like just light years ahead of a lot of
Right.
people. So,
Right.
if they decide to revisit this feud that him and Sammy had, it would be very interesting because the ultimate underdog, the David and Goliath, everybody likes to see it. So that would be interesting for me. I think yeah, no. A couple months ago, I was like, yeah, it's in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn's gonna win the Royal Rumble. Him going against Drew McIntyre and then losing in a group like harsh match against Drew, then being an entrant in the Royal Rumble and winning the Royal Rumble. Talk about plot armor. That would be insane for them to do this year. So I think waiting until the next year is the way to go.
I actually like conspiracy theorist Sami Zayn. I was a fan of that guy. The music was ridiculous. I don't, it
That
was so weird.
music was ridiculous. He was
Um, yeah, I remember they actually had a Raw where they accidentally played that. I don't know if they were joking
They
him,
did.
and he was like, I haven't heard that in a long
Never,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not winning this. But I love the long-term storytelling you just did. As
Mm-hmm.
far as like I said, Gunther being a final, legit final boss,
Mm-hmm.
like building him up. He's retired Cena, AJ, Brock. Like,
Maybe
if he
Roman.
has those three names on there
Mm-hmm.
and he just has a dominant title reign, like the whole year, nothing
Mm-hmm.
like Roman Reigns
No,
for
no, no. Anything but that.
just dominating people.
Yeah.
Complete underdog Sami Zayn. Well,
Mm-hmm.
underdog Sami Zayn is money Sami Zayn.
100%.
And he can say those promos that can just get you hyped and
Yeah.
ready. Um, and him being a guy,
Mm-hmm.
he's the guy that ends Gunther's reign. Gunther is something psychological where he just doesn't do him. And maybe he does something dastardly like chokes out Sammy's son. But
His baby son? That's a crime. Ah.
they have been doing this for a long time. Sammy has never won a world title. His son even asked him. His son is harsh. What the heck? Like, um, how many times have you won the title, Dad?
That was hard.
Like, they've been running with that for so long for a
Mm-hmm.
reason, I think. Sami Zayn is definitely going to have his moment, and I feel like it is going to be at WrestleMania against Gunther, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll have enough time to hype that up. How he gets there, if he wins the chamber that year, maybe I don't know, but um, yeah, yeah, Drew's gonna retain. Drew, I think, is going into WrestleMania as champion, and he is going to face Roman Reigns.
That
I don't
would
know. I
be
don't know.
interesting. That would be very interesting because, I mean, like for War Games, Gunther was like on Team New. Was he on like the new like when they did War Games and Drew McIntyre was involved with the heels? Roman Reigns was on the opposite side of that, right? Like,
Yes.
because I know the Bloodline has been in War Games for the past like 5 years. I feel like, and
Right.
it's always been like some kind of edition rendition of the Bloodline. The
Well, you
original is
remember.
heels, and then I
You
don't
remember he
quite
was
remember.
suspended. He was suspended, and Paul Heyman
Yeah.
managed to
Oh
come
yeah,
back.
and he was like, "You said I could pick anyone." So
Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, Roman Reigns was on the opposite end of that. Like Roman Reigns
Right.
the faces. So they have, they have some kind of, hatred, but I mean Roman Reigns only likes himself and Drew McIntyre only likes himself. So I think that would be a really good match, very exciting. Um yeah, that would be actually really interesting if he chooses Drew McIntyre for instead of CM Punk.
It'd be fresh, I
Yeah,
guess.
it'd be different because we're expecting Punk. So that would be, but then it's
Punk and
like,
LA Knight. Punk,
oh, the elimination,
LA Knight maybe wins the chamber.
the chamber.
Maybe. However, the logistics, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have LA Knight and Punk,
Mm-hmm.
have Drew and Roman.
Yeah.
Those are your two title matches at WrestleMania.
Right.
Eh,
Are they main eventers? Or is Rhea versus Stephanie more of a main eventer? And is Jade and Bianca more of a main eventer?
I don't know. Unless, of course, Obafemi wins the
Yeah.
Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber.
And the Elimination Chamber, and the Money in the Bank, and King of the Ring. Everything. That is so funny. I'm like, double champ, triple champ,
All of them.
Boba
He
Femi.
cashes in on Dom, wins the AAA.
Give him everything. Yeah. Oh my god. That's
He's the
geez.
ruler.
He's literally the ruler. Like he has to beat everybody eventually, right?
Yeah.
Man,
So that's it.
that's it.
That's our predictions for Royal Rumble. That's our feelings on wrestling. Of course, we're both marks for Oba Femi. We're LA Knight
Ooh.
marks. We want to see him. You
LA.
know, you know what? Now that I think about it, the Unreal when they showed the moment of Triple H kind of getting on LA Knight and like the finish for that Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Maybe they're showing things for a reason. Maybe he's gonna be in line for a world title shot. They said Chelsea Green, you're good at building people, but you're not gonna beat people like Tiff. Maybe they're building up to her winning a world title.
Double bluff. A little bluff action.
She is made for her carrying that briefcase in my mind. But we're getting way off topic. Anyway, that's our show.
Yes.
That's it. That's our discussion. Join in the discussion. Talk to us. Let us know. Like, subscribe, do the things. Anyway, with that, enjoy the Royal Rumble, and DDT is out.
Bye.
You just can't get up from that.